Yeah, some of his performances are pretty good, Jeff Tweedy, yeah. The solo Sunken Treasure one, I'm Trying to Break Your Heart. I'm trying to think of the name of that. It's a Wilco song. I'm trying to break your heart. Forget the real title. It's kind of hard to figure out some of the Wilco titles, you know, from the listening to the song. So one, something about assassin on the avenue, something like that. Starts off with like something to do with you know, he talks about an assassin on the avenue. Something to do with an aquarium. You could tell somebody got a hold of the good stuff. Sorry, I'm clearing my throat. Trying out these salt, lime, nuts. I need to get some ginger. Yeah, that's a Wilco song. I believe it's yeah, it's on Yankee Foxtrot Hotel. One of the first songs on there. Assassins, Abbott I don't understand it really, to be honest. It's like, it's almost like listening to a crazy poet talking, you know, rambling. But it's good though. It's good stuff. There's the Paradox Church right there. We love Jesus. We love Fort Worth. And there's nothing paradoxical about it. That's a word. And it'd be funny if it wasn't a word. And if it wasn't a word, it even works better with a joke. If it is a joke. It's only a joke if they're laughing. And how do I know if anyone's laughing? You know, they should give you some of that information, really, on your YouTube channels. How many people laughed. Because they could put it down, you know. You know, they have like a thumbs up. Doesn't necessarily mean they're laughing. You know, when they do like a thumbs up kind of thing. But they could have a laughter button. You know, like I laughed during your YouTube channel show. Or whatever you call it. During your social media, buddy. Who's sponsoring you? Nobody. Nobody. We got no sponsors yet. But we're looking for them. Oh, green lighted the project. It's green lighted. You know, the sign back there said stranded, stay in vehicle. No, remain, I'm sorry. Stranded, remain in vehicle. What about you didn't, you know? If you were stranded. Are we going to sit here? Yeah, just sit in the vehicle. The sign says to. It's blinking right there. See that sign? Oh, yeah, it does say remain in vehicle. If you didn't. What about you got out of the vehicle, you met someone who happened to be a philanthropist, and they say, you know what, I'm going to help you out. What's your PayPal? And you just put like $5,000 in your PayPal. We're not stranded anymore. Well, because they could buy a really nice scooter. $5,000 nowadays with inflation. And what would you do? You at least could Uber back home. Let's put it that way. All right. Why did you say stranded, call Uber? Yeah, really. I'm not going to remain in the vehicle. I'll be getting on the apps. Lyft or Uber at that point. And there's somewhere in here. Salt and lime. I like the red hot ones or the spicy ones a little bit better, but they've been sold out. A lot of gas stations sold out of them. Munchies, Flaming Hot. Remember when your grandparents had that thing right there? This little trash can. hangs on the, old people always have those kinds of things in their car. Just kind of making me wonder. I never would have had that in my car in my 20s. It catches trash, little trash can. When I was doing a ride share, when I was doing Uber, had a guy throw up and fill the entire thing up. It's a spring-loaded thing. It can collapse. And he filled the whole thing up full. I cleaned it out with like a lot of different chemicals. We're at 8:14 arrival, 4 minutes, 1.7 miles. See, the thing about entertainment is we're obsessed with imitation. This goes all the way back to Aristotle's Poetics. That's what it was about. It was about imitation. So even if it was fiction and it wasn't real, if it imitated life, then people becomes obsessed. So what do people love more than anything, right? They go to work and they come home and watch 8 hours worth of television, or 6 hours, maybe 6 hours, okay? 6 to 8 hours of television, and then they go to sleep. They eat for 30 minutes and then they sit there and watch TV until they go to sleep. I could be wrong. I tried not to do this in my mid-20s. I tried to live without a television so that I wasn't looking at I wasn't like seeking imitation, And then when I got to Los Angeles, or when I got to Long Beach, California, I didn't have a television, but like I was urged to, even by the industry. People are like, you gotta watch these shows. I don't know if that's the case, really. If you're searching imitation, then you're set in your spot. You're just going to watch the imitation and you're going to be observing imitation, and like getting kind of obsessed with a story or a fictional story, or And they say like songs, really good songs will imitate life, the sounds of life that we've heard before. Like Woody Guthrie would imitate the sound of a train and things like that. But, I don't know. They could be right. If you know anything about Martin Scorsese, he's going to tell you to watch certain movies so that you understand the diction of filmography, or the diction of cinematography, or the diction of cinema, is really what I was trying to say. Not cinematography, but of cinema, of how it's presented, So you do want to imitate other artists, maybe even, I don't know. A lot of times they, like for example, an artist like Daniel Johnston was obsessed with the Beatles, but he couldn't really imitate them, not that well. And even Kurt Cobain was obsessed with the Beatles. And both of them were pretty successful musicians, especially Kurt Cobain and Nirvana. And people said that, he wanted to be like the Beatles, So people will take an artist and attempt to imitate them. And some are very good at it. There's artists out there, they can pick up a guitar and they can play any song that's been written and just tear it apart, but nobody knows who they are. Nobody. There's certain people that can't imitate, but that's what I'm saying. It all comes from that. If you read the Poetics, this obsession with imitation, with the world, that what we see, and so people will sit there and watch that. It's just interesting. I'm just kind of making a comment about imitation. That's where it all comes from. We like to see the world. It's almost like a mirror. And if it reminds us personally, especially like a song that personally, if you've heard it and you're like, hey, I've heard that before, but it's like a brand new song that came out, and then it hits you in a personal way, I don't know where that comes from, but it's like they're very good at imitation. Artists are. They will reflect what you're supposed to either feel or be entertained by. And there's like a hidden, mysterious thing on what's hot, and that'll never be figured out, I don't think. If you could figure that out, then everybody would drop what they're doing and they would become some type of artist, probably. If they knew the next day they could make a lot of money doing it, they're like, that'd be fun. I'll be obsessed with that, and I'll start creating my own art and selling it, I think everybody would do. I think so. That's what Linda always says. Well, go do your movie star stuff, Well, if I was a movie star, if I really was, well, for one thing, I don't know if I should really be talking. I was just joking. But that's what she says. Go do your movie star stuff. What she's saying really is go imitate. Go do your imitation, And I'm like, okay, It's like, I guess, as artists, we hear the thing, fake it until you make it, Like, it's fake. Well, what's that? What's fake art? I don't know. They call you an imitator. Ooh, I couldn't tell if it's black or not. See, it's way up there. It's a kitty cat. All right, next one's 8:41, 1 minute, 0.5 miles. I'm peeking around a little bit with Neil Young. Man, he's got some weird titles. One's called Ambulance Blues. Another one, on Harvest. Gonna pack it up, get a pickup, head off to L.A. Would be a mistake to do nowadays, unless you're a real estate agent. Gonna pack it up, get a pickup, head off to LA. All right, that's Sunken Treasure live in the Pacific Northwest. It's a DVD. Jeff Tweedy is the songwriter. It was done in 2006. Since then, I think his wife has a YouTube show or something similar. It's some kind of show about the Tweedies. And then his son, his son is a drummer, and they started a band called Tweedy, and that's happened since all of that. Lots happened since 2006. So it was like maybe 10 years ago, 16 almost. Shoot, a good 15 years almost. Ballpark figure 15 years nearly. Doing the math in my head. Give me a second. 2006, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Yeah, 17 years. 17 years ago is when Sunken Treasure was. I don't know, I'm gonna check it out. It's a little DVD. They have it floating on YouTube for free. The guy that's running it, no content block or anything. So I don't know how they do that. Personally, to be honest, if anyone wants to make a comment, how do they release music on YouTube under people's channel and no content block? I'm curious. I'd like to know. Do these people purchase the rights? Do they know the songwriter? Is there some kind of leeway? If I were to post this moment right here to a Fleetwood Mac song, let's say Dreams, right, by Fleetwood Mac, content block. He would never see it in a million years. I've done it before. There's a lot of mystery going on YouTube. Somehow people starting to have the rights. I do like now when I'm editing on the iMovie, and this will change when I get the Mac Pro, or the I guess they call it the MacBook Pro. You can get music that's public domain so that you can just use the music without any problems. And they usually have it stored within the iMovie. And I guess if you use Final Cut Pro, they'd have their own music. And then you can always make music on GarageBand. And they have something called Pro Logic. So that supposedly has instruments, and you can make music on that too. I like the idea of this. I like the idea of being able to be your own musician. And you can talk about music all you want. And you can be your own musician. And you can also be your own filmmaker and do your own show. And that can develop over time because you can get ideas from other people. So some people like it, some people don't. I personally do. I don't find it not entertaining at all. I think it's very entertaining that someone starts their own show. Now we'll look at the green light. It's not green from my point of view, but it's only green in the camera. That's what's weird. If you look at it, see it? It's kind of like an off-white color, but in the camera, it's like bright green. All right. All right, there you are, kitty. How you doing? All right. Where's Kitty? Oh, there's Kitty. Yeah. And now. All right, so I got some groceries.
All I got was spinach.
Just spinach? I got a thin and crispy pizza. So it looks like Linda is making, what are you making? Oh, is that private information?
Yes.
Oh, okay. And who are you making that to? Who's going to?
I think he took the car.
Now, what happened? You don't want to tell the story?
No.
Something about your brother taking a car?
No, I think he took the truck or something. I don't know. I don't think he was around. I was like 15, 16. I think I just started working at Pizza Hut. No, my brother wasn't around. I was living with his girlfriend at the time, Amanda.
You took a car?
I did take the car.
Your brother?
Yeah, I think I did. He did once, then Patrick wanted to push charges.
So, your brother took the car?
Oh, this is the second time.
A long time ago?
Wait, will you cut it off, please?
I think I'll pack it in and buy a pickup.
Will you put it? I'm trying
Take it down to L.A.
Forget it. I was telling you something personal about my mom. Cut it off, please.
All right.
I remember I was at good parties, and then Patrick obviously wasn't answering. Call Dustin.
I think I'll pack it in and buy a pickup. Take it down to L.A.